This is for anyone who has ever been sexually abused as a child or as a teenager, anyone who's dealt with child molestation in their family. This story is for you because I went through it myself, and what happened to me I didn't realize affected my life for many years, as far as the decisions that I made and the choices and the type of people that I attracted to myself. After what happened to me, my life kind of like went downhill, and I didn't really put where my life was going. I didn't really connect it to it was because of what happened to me. And now, after healing from the situation, I could see that what I went through during that time affected my life all the way up until I actually began to heal. So I wanted to share how I was able to heal from it in hopes that it'll help someone else. So here we go. Okay, so what I did was, to start, I got a journal. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, start journaling. But some people probably don't like it, or some people probably just aren't interested in it. But in order to heal, you have to write down what happened to you, or you could talk to yourself about what happened to you. And in order to really get connected with yourself, it's best if you, like some people go to therapy, it's best if you talk to yourself about what happened. I know that kind of sounds weird, but when you're at home or when you're somewhere secluded, you really should sit down and go over what happened to you from before the abuse started till after the abuse was over. You really have to sit with yourself and go over it. Like, for me, I wrote it down. I was like, well, I remember he used to say these type of things to me. Or for me, before the abuse started, he would allow me to watch porn with him, and at the time, you're a child, you don't know what's right or what's wrong until you get guidance to someone to show you, hey, no, this is wrong, don't do this, you know what I'm saying? And he was that person that was supposed to be in that role in my life to guide me, which is the right way or wrong way to be. And he was leading me down the wrong way the whole time, and I didn't realize it because I'm looking at him like, like this is somebody that I'm supposed to listen to, because they were an authority figure in my life at the time. So I'm thinking, if he's okay with me doing it, then it must be okay. And that's not the case. So go over the things that they used to do with you. You have to write it down, or you have to talk to yourself about it. You have to sit with yourself and talk about, pretend you're your therapist and talk to yourself about what happened. Okay, this happened, and then it made me feel like this, and it was weird. And like, you really have to, like, when you're going over what happened to you, it's very normal to feel angry. It's very normal to feel sexual. It's very normal to feel uncomfortable. It's very normal to cry, be angry. It's normal to feel emotions when you're recapping your abuse, because you just have to. Like, it's not gonna, like, go away And for me, I used to do drugs. I used to um want to be out a lot. I used to want to like be up under men that I used to attract men that were just like him. They just were, I just wasn't related to them. You know what I'm saying? I used to attract friends that were just like the people that didn't help me when I told. You know what I'm saying? Like my surroundings, even though I ran away from my abuser and the people that didn't help me when I needed the help, I would still find them in other people because I didn't heal and accept the fact that I was molested. Like you like to say it to yourself is like admitting it. You have to admit. First you have to, when you're writing down or talking to yourself about what happened, you're going to come to the realization that this person is a pedophile and they have always been a pedophile and they targeted me. And it's not my fault because this person is mentally unstable. They are a pedophile and I was molested. Once you begin to like accept it, saying accept it is like saying you were okay with it. But no, once you realize and be like, okay, this did happen to me, and come to terms with being abused, come into terms with being abused is not easy. It is very, very, very hard. And it is you go through a feeling of your sexual nature has been stolen from you, and now they have it with them now. So for me, whenever I would have sex with someone else, or whenever I was sexual with people that it was my own age, I wasn't related to, like normal people, it would kind of be like I was numb, like I didn't feel it. I was disconnected, or I would go for people that I really wasn't attracted to, but because of my trauma, it was kind of like I dealt with them anyway because I was when you're being molested, you are being manipulated into being sexual with somebody that you're not into and somebody that you're not supposed to be having sex with. So for me, I was dating like old ass men and like guys that had similar traits to my abuser. And for me, it wasn't because this is what I like. It was because this is familiar and I already know what to expect, kind of thing. So it's like, for me, dating somebody that's old is not normal. Dating somebody, sleeping with somebody for money that you're not even attracted to, being with somebody for any other reason than actually wanting to be with them is not normal. You know what I'm saying? It alters your mindset. Like, it just makes you, for me, it made me feel like my sexuality was robbed and I'm now operating sexually in a way that I really don't want to, So that's why I had to start to begin to heal because, so that's why I began to write down what happened to me. I sat down with myself and I began to go from the beginning of what happened. He used to allow me to smoke weed, and I remember being in like middle school, and I remember him letting me like smoke from his joint or whatever. And then I remember him buying me beer, and one day I was like, I was drunk off of those because I think he bought me like 4 of them, and I think I drank like 3, and I was like drunk off of that. And then my mom, you know, it's like she really didn't say anything. It's like but yeah, like write down write down things that happened. What was, like, were they buying you? Did they start buying you stuff first? Did they start letting you do drugs? Did they start letting you did they start playing with you, like play fighting and stuff? But it always felt really sexual. Like, for me, it was like play fighting, but then he would like get lotion and stuff, and like it was just weird. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very weird. Or he would like play game. He would play like this singing game with me, and then he would start to like take my clothes off one by one. Like, it was really, really weird. You know what I'm saying? And talking about it is like, ew, like, oh my God. But at the time I was young, so I was like, oh, he's just playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what a pedophile was at that age. Like, at that time I was transitioning from middle school to high school. So I don't remember how old I was, but I know I was like in that bracket. And I remember he would start like hiding certain things from my mom, and he would start saying like, oh, if you tell your mom, I'm gonna act like I don't know what you're talking about. Like, he would just basically tell me like, oh, if you tell your mom, I'm gonna act like I don't know what you're talking about, and she's gonna believe me, type stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? And talking about it really, really helps, because it releases that negative energy, you know. And then I also began to realize that this man been nasty before the molestation even started. Like, he been weird, you know what I'm saying? And me being a child, he knew that I wouldn't catch on to that, because children usually don't. Bless you. Children usually don't catch on to that type of stuff unless they get put on game about people like that first, you know. So I started writing about it, and after I accepted the fact that he molested me and basically just basically took advantage of the fact that I didn't know shit, I had to cut off the people that I told and didn't do anything about it. Because even through the years of me still being around them, me still being I hate my mom for not believing me. And that is something that I kind of try to ignore. Something that I denied for a long time, but deep down in me, I hate my mama for not doing anything about it. And I've hated her for years, because he would try to pin me against my mom. Like, he would tell me, like, when we were together alone, he would just always be like talking bad about her. So it was just kind of like I would join in too, because whenever she was around, she was really like mean and distant and not really like there, like available emotionally, really. And I think maybe it was because of the things that she went now I kind of feel like maybe it was because of the certain things that she went through. And I'm sorry, my fucking face. But maybe it was because some of the things that she went through in her childhood that kind of caused her to be kind of like like distant, towards me. But it was just kind of like I hated her because it was like, how could you like lay next to this man after I done told you that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, like that's nasty. Like, why are you, and he would kind of try to like make me like jealous of the fact that, he was with my mom. Like, this is my biological father, by the way. Um, yeah, this is my actual dad that I'm talking about. I know a lot of people, they usually, no, oh my God, let me rephrase that. Some people who get molested is usually by like a brother or a cousin or an uncle or sometimes a granddad or a aunt or, but this is my biological dad. And, yeah, he was just try to make me be jealous of the fact that he was with my mom. And it was just kind of like, it was weird. You know what I'm saying? It was weird. And it was just like, what? Like, I don't, but at the time, I still didn't realize this man has a mental problem. Like, for me, I just thought after the abuse stopped and I was able to get away, I thought he was just nasty. And but now it's like, the older I get, it's like, this man really has a problem. Like, something is not right up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, something is wrong because you don't give your children drugs to take. Like, that's not normal. When some people be like, oh, if my kids do drugs, they're gonna do drugs with me. Like, no, like, that's not normal. Like, that's not okay. That's not, you shouldn't encourage your kids to do drugs, period, because that affects people's lives. So it's like the whole drug thing, and then the whole molesting thing, and then after that it was kind of like trying to pin me against my mom. And it was just kind of like, maybe he's like crazy or something. Like, he has a mental issue. So once I understood that my abuser has a mental issue and it's really not me. If you have been molested, abused by somebody, it is not you. They are mentally ill. Okay? They are mentally ill. They're mentally ill. And the people that you may have told and they didn't help you, they are scary and cowards, and they probably had it happen to them too, and their parents didn't do anything, so they probably was like, well, shit, if I didn't get help, what the fuck you want me to do, type shit. Like when looking back, my mom staying with him, just back then I was like, wow, you don't love me. You just picked this man over me after I done told you what he did. But now it's kind of like, oh, like, she's weak. Like, she probably feel like she can't get any better than this. She probably feels like this is her only, this is the only man she can get. Desperation. Like, she just don't love herself because if you have been molested and your parents or your mom or whoever didn't help you, or she stayed with him or whatever it is, that means that your mom is desperate and weak, and she probably feels like he's the best she's gonna get. And that might offend a lot of people, but it's the truth. whoever that person was in your life that didn't help, or felt like you should be quiet, or felt like saying something is gonna destroy the family, that person is weak and scary, and they do not love themselves. And whatever role that person plays in their life, they think that is the best they're gonna get. If a woman chooses to stay with a pedophile after it has came out that they are a pedophile, that woman does not love herself. She does not love herself. She does not love her children. And she don't even love the man. She just think nobody else is going to want me. So what am I going to do? Some people be like, oh, well, he pays the bills. That's basically saying, yeah, I know what he did to you, but I don't think I can get a job. So I'm gonna just let him keep doing it to you. Or if you move out, he probably gonna start on your siblings or whatever. But I would if I send him to jail and leave, that means I'm gonna have to get a job. That means I am going to have to lead this household. That means I am going to have to be in control of your safety, and I don't want to. They don't want to be alone. They can't be alone. They don't want to. If you've been molested and it was somebody in your family and your family didn't help you, they wanted you to keep it a secret, it's because they are desperate and weak and cowards. It does not mean that what happened to you was not valid. It means that they are too scary to stand up to the person that did it to you. They are too scary to stand up to the person that did it to you. That's like saying you get shot and your best friend see you get shot, right? And it was by her boyfriend. And she could call the police on him and have him arrested, but she's not going to do that because she's afraid of him. But then she wants y'all to stay friends and forget the fact that he shot you. And she wants you to understand that I can't put him in jail because I love him. So can you just still be my friend and pretend like he didn't shoot you? And when you're around him, can you be nice to him so that way he doesn't think about leaving me? Because I am just so desperate for him and I don't think another man is going to love me. So can you just ignore the fact that he shot you so he can still be with me and I can still have a man? Because if I don't have a man, what am I going to do with my life? That's basically what it is. Them wanting you to stay quiet is them begging you to stay quiet because they are desperate and in need for that person, because they feel like they think of themselves as nothing. They probably don't even like the way they look in the mirror. So, and this is not I'm not angry at my mom anymore. I just understand her mentally now. And once you understand the people that didn't help you mentality, you cannot be around those people anymore. You can't. Because if they don't love themselves, if they don't love their children, if they don't care about themselves, if they feel like this horrible man is the best thing they're going to get, or a horrible woman, or if they think so low of themselves, you cannot be around somebody like that. Because they're going to drag you right on down with them. If it was a cousin that did it to you and he is still invited over for Christmas, or they still allow him to come around, you got to stop going over there. You got to stop going over there. Just because they cowards and scary and don't want to stand up for anything does not mean you have to follow suit and listen to them. It's not you being lonely if it's you standing up for yourself and healing and letting these people go. You don't need cowards in your life. You know, you don't have to keep dealing with these people. You really don't. If you are over the age of 18, you don't have to keep dealing with these people. And that's a part of the healing process. If you want to fully heal, you have to let go of the people that didn't help you when you needed it. The people that didn't reach out to help you. You have to let them go, because if you don't, so yeah, write down what happened to you or talk to yourself about what happened to you. Realize who your enemies are. Your enemies are the people that didn't help you, the person who abused you. Those are your enemies. They're your enemies, because why do you need them around if you can't count on them? You don't need them around. And if you are still in communication with people that didn't help you when you told them you were being abused, you probably secretly hate them anyway. Not probably. You secretly hate those people anyway. Because inside of you, you know damn well they were supposed to help you and they didn't. And they didn't help you because it's scary and weak. It had nothing to do with, oh, what happened to you? You brought it onto yourself. No, you didn't. That person is mentally ill and has a problem. And they probably knew it before you even said something. That I can guarantee you, before that person hurt you, they were hurting other people in their family. And nobody said anything. They know that person has a problem. They know that. But they're not going to do anything about it, because it's not in them to stand up for anything. They were either probably abused themselves and just said fuck it, you know, or they're scared of that person, or they depend on that person more than they want a healthy life. You cannot be dependent on somebody who is mentally ill and expect to have a good life. That's just it's not gonna that doesn't that's you cannot have a happy, healthy life if you have mentally ill people in it, or if you're connected to somebody who you know has no business around children, or they need to get help. Those pedophiles and abusers need to get help on their own, because they need to fix the problem within themselves. You know, it is not your job to stay down with people who abuse you. You know what I'm saying? It is not your job. And you shouldn't have to fear these people, because at the end of the day, child molestation is illegal. It is a crime. It is something that he can go to jail for. It is something that she can go to jail for. Abuse is things people go to jail for. What they did, what they're doing to you, they can't, that's not something that can just date. If somebody abused you, if you were abused, that's illegal. They can't do that. If you wanted their ass to go to jail, they will go. Because you can't go around abusing especially children. That's why they tell you don't say anything. That's why they threaten to kill your family if you say something. That's why they threaten you, because they know damn well if they get caught, their ass is going to jail, or it's probably worse. You know what I'm saying? probably something way worse is going to happen to them. And they know that. That's why they want to try to scare you for not saying anything. Because they don't want something bad to happen to them. Because they know if you do tell, something will happen to them. And that's what they don't want. So they try to fear, you to keep your mouth closed. Because at the end of the day, you are the one with the real power. Not them. And that's what they don't want you to understand, that you are the one with the real power, not them. I love you too, Selena. So that's the video. I just wanted to come on here, and I really want to help someone else to see the light, to understand that what happened to you is not your fault. Why? Because that person has a fucking mental problem. They have a fucking mental problem. Them weak ass people that didn't help you, that's not your fault either. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And they probably already knew that man was nasty and needed real therapy with like 4 doctors in the room and a straitjacket. And I also want people to heal and get help, because if you don't get help and you sit in your abuse and if you just let it, I'm trying to put this in a way to, if you need to get what happened to you out, because if you hold it in, you're going to attract men just like that person or people like them. Yes, if you don't heal, you're going to attract people just like them. You're probably going to end up on drugs. Depending on how hard and horrible the abuse was, is going to determine what kind of drug you end up on, or end up liking the most. The harder the drug, the more you need to get that shit out of you, and write that shit down. Talk to yourself. Not saying that it's not people out here in the world that's going to help you, but you got to understand yourself first before you could, I don't know. I recommend you talking to yourself about it first. I recommend you sitting with yourself first and analyzing the situation from yourself. You're smart. You have your own brain. You're not crazy. You're not dumb. You're not stupid. You have a brain that works. You could sit and analyze and think for yourself and come up with your own your own answers. You know what I'm saying? You know yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you don't let what happened to you make you feel like you're dumb or you can't sit with yourself, because it's like you don't understand. You will get it. If you write it out, if you talk it out with yourself, you are going to get it within yourself, and you are going to understand that it was not your fault, and you are going to realize these people have mental issues and they didn't get the help that they needed, so they kept hurting and abusing other people around them. You're going to understand that the people that didn't help you were already cowards within themselves, and that they're scary and probably, been manipulated by that same person as well, and they need to get help for themselves. You have to get away from them people. Stop talking to them. Stop kikiing and pretending like you ain't mad that they didn't help you, because I know you are. Write it out, talk it out with yourself, sit with yourself, write it down. I have this I have this journal here. I date it. I have the date up here. And then I just start writing. The first entry I made, I said, coming to terms that, so-and-so is a pedophile. It is a shock, but not in the way that I didn't know, but in the way that I've been blind for all these years. The signs were there, but I didn't want to believe it. I'm trying not to think about it too much, because this is a honest truth moment. After I was molested and I told, and people were just like, not everybody, it's probably like only one person around me that really gave a fuck and actually tried to help me. But for like my mom and shit, she didn't she was just kind of like, you should just keep it to yourself, like just let it go. Like, oh my God, like, why you keep bringing this up? Why you keep trying to ruin my happy marriage? You know what I'm saying? And for a while, I just kind of was like, well, whatever. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just with me and he won't hurt nobody else. And I had my daughter around him. And that is something that I feel like I will always regret, because I kind of allowed people to influence me to not take serious of what happened to me. If you've been molested, if you've been raped, if you've been abused by somebody in your family, as a child, as a teen, as a whatever, get away from those people. Get away from that person. Don't be like me and let people convince you that it wasn't a big deal. It is a very, very, very big deal. I was on drugs. My life went down a dark ass hole because I felt like what happened to me didn't matter. Excuse me. And it does matter. It does. Get away from those people. Get away from those people. Heal within yourself. Talk to yourself about what happened. Be honest about what happened to you. Accept that person is a pedophile. Accept that person is an abuser. Accept that person has a problem, and get the fuck away from them. Please. If you brought your children around these people, forgive yourself. I believe in God, and I write down prayers in this book as well. And I pray that God forgives me. I pray that I forgive myself. I pray that my daughter wasn't affected. I pray that I pray to never lose my sight in the truth ever again, because you don't want to go back down that road like I did. Like, well, it's lonely, or, well, it's family. Like, no. Okay? If you have been abused, get away from the person that abused you. Seek justice if you can. Once you come to the realization of what happened to you, you're probably going to want justice anyway. You're going to get it, because now you're operating out of who you are instead of out of fear that they try to instill in you. And you could do this. You could really heal from this and move on and actually begin to live your life the way that God intended you to. But it's going to take you to really sit and analyze what happened to you, understand it. For me, I Googled and was on YouTube looking at other people's stories of being molested. And that helped me to realize that I'm not alone, that other people have been through this as well. And that helps, Google, like, look up, sorry. Look up, pedophilia. I think I'm saying it right or whatever. But research on your abuse. The more research you do, the more you're going to understand and realize that you probably have been raised by somebody with a mental issue that didn't get help, and them not getting help affected your childhood and your growth. But you could change that once you know what I'm saying, realize that it's not your fault. Once you realize that you just were around some people that yeah. So I pray to God that this video reaches somebody and it helps you. I really do, because God has helped me and has let me see the light, and I am forever grateful, because for a while I have been blinded, and for a while I really was like, well, maybe I wasn't abused, but I was. And once I realized that I was abused, I was so fucking mad, and I was so angry, and I wanted them to just die, but I had to accept that they have mental issues that they need to work on, and it's not my fault. Even if you're not a kid right now, you're my age, or you're older, or whatever, even if you're a parent of a child that has been abusing and you didn't help them, like, were you abused and you just kind of like went into this little scary shell that you're not worth justice and you can't do anything? Yes, you can. These people have committed crimes against y'all. Yes, you can. You can get justice for this. These people have committed crimes against y'all. If they're threatening your life, if they're anything, try to get it recorded down, or try to like, if they're saying it to you, try to record them saying it to you. They texting it to you, make sure you screenshot and keep your receipts. These people are not going to get away with what they did to you, but you have to get out of that fear mindset of it doesn't matter what happened to you. It does matter what happened to you. They know they are committing crimes. These men know what they're doing. These women that are child molesters and old nasty ass ladies trying to fuck on little boys, they know what they're doing. They know you're a child. That person knows you were a child and didn't know any better. That's why they used you. That's why they used children, because they know children don't know any better. You will get your justice. Come out of that fear. Come out of that fear. They are the ones that are really scared, because they are the ones committing an actual crime. Once you understand they are the ones committing the crime and they are the ones that are really scared, they can't hurt you anymore. They can't hurt you anymore. I know mines can't. Because all I got is it's a phone call. But, God said, don't do that. God said, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. So, God bless you. Probably make some more videos on this, but God bless you. You can receive justice. God bless you.